record it to my computer here. So we got this. So there we
Mm.
go. So we are on. It is now 6:01. We might as well get started. We don't want to wait too much longer for anything. So hello everybody. Great to see you. Haven't seen your many of you in since we were in Kerrville and at that as we were just talking about that lovely YO with all that hot water that we had. Um, so we'll find out a little bit more about the YO and it's wanting the Lions here at the end of this month. So we'll find out some of that. I
Mhm.
just go into my. I have some comments that I want to make to y'all. Hey, David, how you doing? Welcome. Glad to see
Fine,
you.
how are you? Yep.
Doing fine. Do a little couple of comments from me here, then we'll get started with the rest of this agenda, and then we can get on to the real stuff, the real meat of all this, which is having a conversation with Lisa and with Renee. I know that all of you, and I say this tongue in cheek when I say it, are working diligently and hard at getting your district goals finalized as they're going to be due on the 30th of April. So I know that all of you are working very hard with that. I do have a comment that where did it go? I do have a comment from um, Donna, and she has asked that everybody please try to get everything uploaded to the OneDrive as soon as you possibly can, so she can get busy working on the MD goals for next year. So please, if you wouldn't please do that, she's asked for your help on
Okay.
that. As when we talk about the district goals, I know that, and I'm going to ask that Lisa and that Renee plug their ears on this when I say this, because even though they will be part of the GAT going into next year. What I say may be a little bit counter to what Lions Clubs International is asking for you guys to do. I've said it a number of times, and I'll continue to say it. Uh, the targets that LCI has given you for your year, those numbers that they've told you for new clubs and for new members, those are targets, folks. They're not your goals. So please understand that the people that you work for the Lions of your district, not for Lions Clubs International. We support Lions Clubs International. We don't work for them. So don't look at those targets as being the goals that you have to accept as the goals for your district. I know that is counter to what you have been told by the people that are teaching you. I know that is counter to the information you've been given by your group leaders. Uh, but I'm here to tell you, there's there's no way there is no way on God's green earth that multiple District 2 will be a plus 992 at the end of next year.
Wow.
That is the target that is given to MD2 for the 2026-2027 year, a plus 992. It ain't gonna happen. Okay. So um, I'm gonna one of you, I won't say who, has reached out to me and asked me a little bit about some membership goals. And I will tell you, and you've heard me say this to you before, and I'll continue to say it. If you look at your 5 year trend, and your 5 year trend shows you having a 5 year trend of a negative 40, I will tell you a net zero is a really good number. It's a real
Hmm.
good number. Okay. Uh, now I'm not saying don't give yourself a stretch goal. Don't give yourself a stretch goal that might be a few more out there. But please, Lions Clubs International cannot fire you. They can't keep you from being reimbursed. All of you have made your training now. I know that. All of you have done all that. So you
Yeah.
made all that training. So they can't threaten to not pay your way when you go over to when you go to Hong Kong. So all that's off the table. The only people that can actually look at you and say, we want you to be removed are the people in your district. So you work for those lines, you support those lines. Okay. That's who you're working for. So much for my soapbox and about district goals. And oh, by the way, hopefully, if you're thinking about your district goals and you're working toward developing those goals, um, I know that a number of you it may have some uh, current district governors who did not reach out to you and ask for your input or did not share those thoughts about what the goals were going to be to help with not only you as a first now, but the seconds that are behind you. If that did not happen this year, make sure it happens during your year. While
Mhm.
you're developing those goals, share in that information, share in that conversation with your first and second, with who will be your first. And if you know who your second is going to be, share with them that. Let's start thinking more strategically about where we're going to be going as an association from not only just this 26-27 year, but in the years to follow. So we have some continuity from year to year, and we're not starting over from scratch.
Mhm.
If it didn't happen for you this year, then please, Mike, I'll get to you in just a second. Then please, let's make sure that we do that. Okay, I'd appreciate it. Uh, then that's all for my goals. The other thing is, I'll just give you a quick. Mike, go ahead. I'll let you go ahead and ask.
I was
Let you.
just going to pass along some information on goals. I was not sure that we get the targets for membership and extensions, but nothing's ever said about service and about leadership. So I
Isn't that
reached
amazing?
out and said, do we have similar goals? And the answer I received was, no, we do not. They do not give us any goals or targets in that area. It is up to us to set our own goals. They
Right.
suggested using the goals that you've used in the past and you've been able to accomplish. But I did reach out about that. So just
Now
wanted to
you
pass that along.
the targets will never, and the targets are all part of Mission 1.5. That's where the targets came from. So, um, and one of you have asked me where did they get these numbers, and it's kabuki math. I'm going to tell you, I haven't been able to figure out yet where they come up with those numbers. The closest I've been able to get is that it's based upon the population of the district and a percentage of the entire district's population is how they kind of come up with the idea of what you should be getting for numbers. It makes no sense to me, but that's just me. So maybe somebody can figure out what logarithm they're using to come up with that.
I would
There's
like to just to interject that when you're putting in your goals, when you're starting to lay them out in the place that they've got for us to lay them out on, is they don't give you a choice on some of those goals like the LCIF. You either check it or you got to put your information in. You
right.
gotta say I will, and and I
Right.
think that's
Correct. You're correct. And they're also the same way when you come to new clubs, you got to at least have one new club. They won't allow you to have zero new clubs. So unfortunately, that's just the way they work. I don't think it's right, but in that regard, I've got no pull in that. Um, let's talk about the MD2 IT position. I know it is a concern for this council as we move forward because we don't know what's going to be happening. As of today, or I shouldn't say as of today, this is probably as of a week ago. Uh, Lion Stephen Mabry of the camp, and also past District Governor Stephen Mays have agreed to continue in their roles as the joint IT folks for no
Oh,
charge to MD2 for the remainder of the year. I have heard, and I will be meeting with Stephen at the end of this month when I'm in Kerrville for our work day for our district's work day. But I'll meet with Stephen. I have heard through the grapevine, and he kind of had been told that he and Stephen Mays are both willing to continue next year at no charge or no cost to MD2.
good.
So if that is the case, that is going to completely solve a huge headache problem that
Yes.
Mike and his budget committee have been working on trying to get a budget to where it's not in the red. So it will help. So I'm hoping that will alleviate that issue. And then we're again not trying to kick the can down the road to the soon to be first vice district governors, but we need to see where they're going to go, where these two folks will go with this, and then where we need to go. We'll hopefully we'll have better information after we have some conversations with them at the end of this month that I can share with you. So those are the two things that I wanted to bring forward to you. Does anybody have a question of me before we move on?
That's
All
good
right
news.
then. All right then. Let's move on to a treasury report. Terry, I think you've already sent that out to everybody.
I did. I sent it out, letting everybody know how we stood right now.
I sent my money. I sent my money today, so you'll get it, and I'll come off your list.
Okay. With the board squares, I talked to Alexa, and she says we have 29 squares to sell to finish the board. And she's hoping to well, she says she will finish at the state convention. So I will bring the money with me so we can pay off whoever wins that night. So we won't have to worry about it. Pin payments. Yeah, you see the total. I still have 2 people to pay, but if you, and then we're just waiting for the pins to arrive. Then we'll pay the invoice. The floor donation is $300. I have talked with Jared. Jared has submitted the application for buying the bricks in his name, and the $300 will go away to Jared because I'll pay him for purchasing that. You see the brunch, 2 people have paid, and then you see the balance of the 1547.84, and then on hospitality, we started off with we've had 14 people pay. We still have 2 people that still haven't paid for hospitality, but that's how we stand. Does anybody have any questions?
I will add a story. Go ahead, David.
Go ahead. No, I'm done.
I was just, what brunch was that?
The brunch was brought up about the,
That is
I'm sorry.
the spouses brunch, our partners in service brunch that will take place in August when we get together. That is the sitting district governors
Right.
provide brunch for the councils, the first and the second vice district governors, and the international family partners in service. So it's all partners in service brunch.
So what do we need to pay on that?
David, you already paid.
Okay.
I know,
Thanks.
David, you forget what you paid for. I get it.
That's
David,
why I pay it as soon as I hear about it. I
Right.
forget.
You've already paid me, David. You're done.
Okay. Thanks.
So it's
But you don't.
$90 a
I'm a
person.
Gorby.
$90 per person.
Okay.
So I will share a little quick story about the pins. Our pins should have been here by now. Unfortunately, they took a little trip through the Mideast
Oh,
right
brother.
when the war slash conflict slash whatever you want to call it started. So they are stuck in Qatar somewhere, evidently. So they have remade the pins, and the last information that we got was part of them should have arrived in Las Vegas. They're waiting on the other part. As soon as they get it, we will have it. My hope is, and we should have them all ready so that we can bring them to Odessa and pass them out in Odessa. So now you've got a story to tell about your pins.
Wow.
Mike, you got any thing you want to add to the budget committee report?
No, that's great news.
Okay.
That's really the biggest thing we're working on still.
And
Did
then
anybody else have any questions about the financials or treasurer's report?
Great job, Terry.
yeah, Terry,
Okay.
good job on that, Terry.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Last but not least, and certainly the most important is state committee chairs. Jared and Diane, do you have anything you want to add or provide or pass on to the council at this time?
We've got no
You know.
new additions to applications, no new submissions for
Right.
recap.
Okay. So we move forward as the committee has recommended to the council. Then okay, good.
Yep.
Good. All right. Well, with that, I'm going to I'm going to kind of turn this over to Mike or Jared or whoever wants to, or Diane, whoever wants to take this on. And as we go through, we'll start with, do you want to flip a coin for who's going to go first and who's going to go second? Or do you want to go alphabetical order? How do you want to do this as far as a conversation with Lisa and with Renee? So you guys tell me, okay?
I'm flexible, whichever way.
I was going to suggest arm wrestling, but that may be a little bit difficult.
Lisa
so.
will win that one.
Yeah, she will.
Well, with that, since everybody seems to want to defer to Lisa first, we'll defer to Lisa first. And I'm going to turn this over to the vice council chair to direct this, since it is the council and their questions and their things that they want to do. So, Mike, I give it to you.
All right. So I reached out to everybody, asked for input, and we got a few things in for both Lisa as well as Renee. And bear with me if I don't use your exact titles. We're a little more casual here. So hopefully I'll be allowed to refer to you as Lisa and Renee and not past district governors. So with that, Lisa, I'll let you give any opening comments. We did ask a couple of questions of you, and we can certainly talk about those questions, but I'll give you the opportunity to kind of make any comments that you want to make to lead it off. You're on mute, Lisa. You're on mute.
Sorry about that.
No
I'm on
worries.
mute all the time with my husband, it seems. So, just forgive me. Thank y'all for having me tonight. Thank you for letting me join your group. I'm so impressed every time I'm around you guys as a council, and thankful that you are sitting in the positions that you're sitting in. I was asked on the email that Mike sent out a few questions, and I addressed each of those questions. And the first one was, is it even realistic for us to consider a forum, an LE, and a RLLI? The answer in my mind is yes, but it's got to be intentional. Let me see if I can share a screen with you guys here real quick, and you'll know what I mean.
I don't know if I can answer. Yeah, I will allow. Here you go.
Perfect. Okay, when I say intentional, this is kind of what I'm talking about. If we're going to do three things, they've all got to connect. Your leadership forum is going to be your biggest, most varied audience, right? You may have a grassroots lion, you may have a president of a club, you may have a zone chair. You're going to have a big variety. I'm looking at dates 3 to 4 months apart, and each event would build on each other. So in October, you could look at a Learn, Lead, Serve leadership forum that we would do a pretty strong media campaign on, or marketing campaign on, to get people there. You get them to that forum, and then you get them excited while they're there about Ellie. And your cream is going to rise to the top, right? So you're going to get, your hope is to get 125 to 150 people for a forum. The next hope would be you would get between 30 and 50 people for an Ellie. And then while they're at Ellie, that's when we know we've identified leaders. We know at Ellie, we get second vice district governors, we get zone chairs. We've seen it and it's proven. The process is proven. From there, you transition while they're at LA to get them excited about RLLI. RLLI is going to be an even smaller audience, but it's going to be more, it's being looked at more now by current leaders because they have to have that experience, the RLLI experience, to get one of their degrees at the USA Canada Alliance Leadership Forum if they're going for their bachelor's or their master's or their doctorate in Lionism. So that's my vision. That's what I see. The next question that you look at is, and I'm going to stop sharing the screen if that's okay with you guys, because you already have recorded that. And I think you can get back to that screen there. So the answer is yes, it can be done if it's done with realistic expectations and it's done with proper timing and one person doesn't try to do it. I cannot, nor should your GLT be responsible for the entire event. My responsibility is to make sure we have great trainers, we have great sessions, and that we build a team for each one of those events. And that team should be different for each one of those events. One of you should chair the forum, one of you should chair an RLLI, and one of you should chair an RLLI. And build teams based on the geography where those events need to be held. If you're looking at geography around Kerrville, that was one of my thoughts, but I don't think the facility, I would not feel comfortable asking Lions that aren't used to coming to a Council of Governors meeting to come to the hotel that we were at for our last Council of Governors meeting, nor would we have enough spaces there for a forum. You also, it may not look like it's always looked in the past. In the past, it's always been a 2-day event. You had hotel, had lodging, you had minimum food. There's all kinds of ways you could do this. You could break it down into, and I'm just saying, I'm giving you options. You could break it down to a 1-day event. And you may break it down into 2 one-day events in different parts of the state to where you could avoid lodging needs while you're there. These are just some of the options that are out there, folks. When you do the same thing you've always done, what are you going to get? The same results you've always gotten. So that was your first question. Is it realistic? Yes, I believe it is. Your second question, I believe, was around strengthening officer and zone chair training at the district level. In my opinion, and this is just me, I'm just giving you information. You guys make all the decisions. But our district, 2S2, has always offered this training, and it is pulling teeth to get people there. I think we've got to surrender to the fact that Zoom is part of how we operate now. It's part of how our society operates now, and it's a big way to save money if you still want to get the information across. Excuse me. So I think that hybrid training is the way to go at a district level. And I also think that when we do things face to face, we need to record those things and we need to make them accessible to folks. We talked about building those 3 events together. One idea that I have for you is maybe people earn points for going to a zone chair training, and they earn points for going to a local guiding lion training. And then at the end or they earn points for going to a forum or an LE or an RLLI, but leadership points where you could make this, you could make leadership not just individual events, but a long-term growth strategy for the state leadership. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I see some heads going like this, so that's good. We need to start those trainings earlier at the district level, in my opinion. I don't think it's fair that clubs elect a president and then they don't have president's training until the end of August. Timing is important. So we need to think about that as you're planning out the year. I think when you go in to your very first meeting in August, the entire year needs to be on paper. Those dates need to be published, and you need to start marketing them from day one if you want attendance. And there's one other catch to that. each one of you in your, a show of hands, could each one of you identify 10 people in your district that are potential leaders? One, two, I see a couple of hands. You need to start looking at that. Because if you don't know who you're looking for, you don't know who you're targeting. And targeting has everything to do with who you want to get to these events. If someone's invited to an event, you're going to get a lot better response than if you post an event and say, everyone's welcome, y'all come, sign up, register. You need to be in your zone chair's ears within your district. They should be able to identify those leaders. And if you're not willing, and I say this with all due respect, if you're not willing to go out and find 10 people in your district that you feel like are leaders and encourage them, and maybe the district or the club financially support them coming to these events, then we're just spinning our wheels. And that's just reality, folks. Um, I don't know what the maximum minimum number of population in districts are, but I'm pretty sure 10 is a low number if you look at your whole district population. So it's going to take some buy-in on your part. It's going to take some buy-in on my part. And it's going to take some buy-in from your zone chairs, specifically in your districts, to make this work. Um, so let's see, I think I had one more question, and that was, what do we think about running trainings alongside council meetings? In a perfect world, I think that's a great opportunity to get a new audience to attend Council of Governors meetings. But in our current location, it's not a possibility. We don't have the room. We don't have the training room. We don't have the facility. And I know that's something I think you guys are probably looking at long term. But I don't think it makes sense at this point. Most of the people who come to the Council of Governor meetings are either past council, current, next year, and the next councils, and their spouses. We don't have a lot of grassroots Lions that even know what a Council of Governors meeting is. So if you're looking down the road, that may be something you would want to look at, in my opinion, year 2 or 3 of a leadership plan. That's just my opinion. And with that, that's all I have to say. I've taken up way too much of your time, but I will sit back and take any questions or feedback that you have.
Questions?
Lisa, who actually, not being involved in it before, who actually plans the ELLI and RLLI events traditionally?
So the state GLT coordinates it and fills out the paperwork for it. There's a grant that's involved with each one of those. I would encourage that grant to be applied for. And usually whoever is going to administer the event, because each of those events have an administrator, they're usually the one that fills that paperwork out.
I'm glad I asked. Okay.
I have filled it out in the past as GLT because I hadn't gotten because we didn't have as big of a team as we needed to have from the council.
Got it. Thank you.
Other questions? Lisa, I had 2 real quick. One is the first question was more around, from a budgeting standpoint, we're only budgeting either an LE or an RLLI. Okay, we're not budgeting both because of the costs involved in it. So if we are including a Lions leadership form, okay, but then either an LE or an RLLI. In your opinion, is one of those 2 better than the other? Is an LE or an RLLI a better one to hold?
That's a great question. I will tell you that it is a proven fact that participants in LE go on to be second vice district governors and state leaders. An RLLI, I can't say that I have the experience with the RLLI to say the same for it. But I do know that it's been asked for people who are trying to get their master's and bachelor's I think to me, the ELLI is a much more economical way to generate leaders. And if that's our outcome, if you're looking, if you're looking at this as a 3-year plan, Mike,
Mm-hmm.
An RLLI may be another event. We may end up saying, if you want to have an RLLI, it's going to cost you. It's going to cost the participant and have the revenue come strictly from participants. And if that's what they really want to do, then they're going to foot the bill for it. It's not going to be a state event. Or we could say we're going to do that instead of October, we could offer an RLLI the following physical year
Mm-hmm.
and then the forum. But I do think it's imperative that you have these events 3 to 4 months apart.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you brought up something that has been something that I've been thinking about related to this, and it's something we can probably have additional conversations around. You mentioned a 3-year leadership plan. I think that is something that is badly needed within our multiple district. We really do not have a leadership plan that kind of integrates with each other. And because our council and the next council have developed such a good relationship, I would love to see the first and us as district governors and even the second district governors take that on as a 3-year leadership development plan that everybody buys into. And then it gets propagated kind of like the intent of the joint council was supposed to be. Bye, Miss Terry. I know you have to go. So anyway, it's more conversations too. The other thing that I was just going to mention too, as a possibility that we might want to think about, you in your graphic, I believe, had an Ellie scheduled in February. Did I see that?
It was February, October, February, and May.
My thought was, why don't we think about maybe doing that in conjunction with the Council of Governors meeting, so that those people, because the people that are going to Ellie are generally not the Council of Governors, right?
Right.
These are younger leaders. Why not coordinate that to where maybe we have it at the camp
We've
at
had the
that time?
last
Go
we've
ahead.
had the last 2 Ellies at Texas Lions Camp.
Well, my
and,
thought was, go ahead, sorry.
and I would encourage that for budgetary reasons.
Mm-hmm.
I would encourage that again, because for less than $10,000,
Right.
we housed everyone for the Ellie. We fed them at the Ellie. And that's significantly less than what we've had in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my thought was maybe we could coordinate to where those people could actually come and sit in at the Council of Governors as part of the training, so that they see what happens.
That's a good
And
idea.
hopefully we pique their interest, and we invite them to some of the events to where they can actually meet a lot of the first, second throughout the state. Just a thought.
Absolutely.
What does it cost us what are we paying for when we use Lions Camp?
I'm sorry, say that one more time. I didn't hear you.
What are we paying for when we use the Lions Camp for events like that? We paying
The
for
lodging, we're using all of their cabins to
we're
house
paying
the
for that
25
or
Electric for sure. Water.
Yeah,
food.
food.
Food is a
Yes,
big expense.
right.
Staff.
Curriculum is a big expense, printing of curriculum. Leaders, we're also paying for the expenses of the faculty that come in to teach the LE classes. Has everyone been to LE? If you raise your hand if you've been to an LE in the past.
Mm-mm.
1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 of you guys have 5. So the curriculum is pretty intense. And getting one of the biggest challenges that we find is when we have housing opportunities that are not what our lions are used to. And with cabins, we found that I went to Alley. I don't know if any of you guys have been to that, but when you get to the hotel, they tell you what room you're in, and then you meet your roommate, and you've never met them before, and you're staying in the same room that they are. You build some great relationships, but it's a little uncomfortable to begin with. It's the same way at camp when you've got a couple of people or, 5 or 6 people in one cabin that have never met each other before. But the cabins do require us, um, just like if we would be treated very similar to any other corporate vendor that would be going in asking to utilize the facilities. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, I did.
And it's
I,
and it's a 3-day event, so it's not just a single night.
So in the interest of fairness, those were all good questions, good comments. Thank you, Lisa. I want to make sure we give Renee plenty of time to talk about service. We can have some follow-on discussions. I think we've got some good opportunities here, and hopefully we can leverage them on the leadership side. So with that, Renee, I'm going to do the same. Go ahead. Somebody
I would
say
like to just make one comment. I just want to say, Lisa,
Go ahead.
thank you for accepting the challenge for next year, and appreciate your help, your support, and guidance to this council and to the state of Texas. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
Agreed. Thank you. Renee, you still with us?
I'm here.
All right, I'm going to offer you the same opportunity that I did, Lisa. You did share with us your kind of plan or a proposal that we can consider. I did share that with the council, and I am expecting/hoping that everyone took the time to take a look at it. And it looks like Renee is going to share that. Or
So
someone
first
is
of all,
sharing it. Go ahead.
I'm sharing that. So first of all, thank you all for the confidence that you have shown in me to be the service chair, because in my heart, service is what Lions are. This is the what we do, and it's a task that cannot be taken very lightly. I did create basically a service agenda for the year. This is not intended to be an agenda that is a hard must unless you want that. What I wanted to create was an agenda for the year, taking the efforts of Lions International with important dates, with important milestones, and give some ideas to clubs around the district that say, okay, well, this month is, let's say, Diabetes Month. What can I do for that? And so I know that you all have seen a draft of this. I have continued to work on that. So it's changed a little bit from what you've seen, and I'll be happy to share it with you again. I'm still fine tuning it. But for example, for July, I proposed some back to school, diabetes, youth, looking at some important dates. We have a Council of Governors meeting in Kerrville. What can we do? And using this, it's basically examples given to clubs around the state that say, what can I do for one thing? Who can I collaborate with and work with as a team, whether it's another Lions Club, a local school, a youth league, for example, in this idea mindset. And also some speaking points and storytelling hooks on how we can push some of this and some ideas for social media. What I have found is many of our clubs do service. Well, let me back that up. All of our clubs do service. They don't report it. And sometimes they continue to do the same service they've always done because they don't know what else they can do. And so my hope is by providing some examples on a month-to-month basis and giving some speaking points, some collaboration ideas, and some ideas going out on social media that can be very, very simple. It could really spark an effort throughout the state for new service and putting that out there. So I was asked specifically if we were bound by this and if multiple districts that have service already planned for specific months, if it could be altered. I'm not meaning for this to be a have all plan that you must do this. This is ideas. And it's up to your council, obviously, to determine how you want to take this and if you want to have any recognition for that. So that is to answer the first question that you gave me on, is it flexible? Absolutely. And I will be more than happy to integrate as much as I can with that and really help promote and push that. The second question that I received from the group was regarding the measurement and reporting, like who is responsible for tracking, how will the results be communicated, and what intervals will the progress be reported? So what I have started, all of you that are on the portal, I'm putting this up here, have access to all of these KPI metrics in the portal. You can pull these and you can see for your district, for the entire multiple district, or granular data all the way down to each club on what your clubs are doing for service. And so this is what it will look like when you pull it. And you have to, you know, drill down, open up some things to see what each of those clubs are doing. To me, this is extremely boring, hard to read because it's just all blue. I'm taking this data, and I've already started doing this on a monthly basis and putting it in a spreadsheet for MD2. And so each of your districts are going to have a tab in this to show what clubs are providing service, how many, you know, it's all the information that you're pulling down. But I also have it color coded. When I drop and paste, it automatically formats. It's kind of cool and fancy, and I like it. But you can see visually where your clubs are providing service, which ones are doing service throughout the year, because it changes. For example, this was the month prior. I saved this specifically for this meeting. And you can see, I'm going to zoom out just so you can see colors. You can see what we had here. Oh, too much. But then here we go. I'm doing it way too fast. There we go. You can see how the colors changed. And you can see which clubs are providing services in multiple areas of humanitarian efforts. And you can see which clubs are providing all of those. So my promise to all of you is that I will pull those KPI metrics on a monthly basis, put them in this spreadsheet, and send it out to your council so that you have the data, council chair like Chris, for the multiple district, and each of you can drill down into your own district to see where those things are. Ultimately, it's still going to be the club's responsibility to enter service. I will be happy to work with your service chairs if you have a service chair in your district, or even your club chairs, to understand how to enter service and help to educate that. But that has to go back to the local club. There's no way that we at this level can enter service for those clubs. And so I've made that promise to do a cross-functional Zoom meeting where we can pull that throughout the state to do that. Another question was with regard to membership and LEO engagement. How can this be structured to invite non-members and LEOs to participate in joint projects? Yes, why not? You know, I have some collaboration efforts and ideas in each of those months. Whenever you look at that, LEOs can definitely be added to basically all of these. You know, when we look at collaborating with our local school districts, if you have a LEO club in the school, have them work with the nurse and have them collaborate and work together with those things. So there's always a way to do that. And I've always had the belief that when you invite non-members to your service projects, they normally become members. It's one of the best ways that you can get members in there. And then the last question I believe that you asked was with regard to recognition and awards. What's being proposed? You know, what does that look like? would friendly competition between clubs happen? And if I remember correctly, I responded that that's really up to you. I don't know what that budget looks like. I don't know how you want to pull those things. I'm open to all of those things. Committing to banner patches is going to be an expense that you're going to have to plan for. When you consider the number of clubs in the state, if they're going to achieve possibly doing one service project in each humanitarian effort, that could add up to quite a bit. So I'm not going to commit you all to doing any specific type of awards or recognition, but that would be something you all would need to talk about and figure out what you want to do, what's in your budget. With that, I think that answers the questions that you all had of me, and I will pause for a moment to see what other questions you have.
Brian, your hand's still up, but did you have a question, or was that from before?
Talking to me?
Yes,
Yeah.
your hand was
I
still
didn't
up.
know it was up. I'm sorry.
No worries. I just didn't know if you had a question. Anybody have a question for Renee?
I will ask Renee a question. When you talked about have you checked at what it would cost for banner patches or for any kind of any type of that type of recognition cost that we'd know what it would be? We might have a little something in there, so I'm just kind of curious if you looked at any of that.
I have not looked into what it would cost specifically for a banner patch for this. I do know my husband and I own a business, and we do Letterman jacket patches for athletes in our local community. And so we order those. I believe they're about a 1.5, maybe 2-inch round, and they cost us $3 a patch. So I would venture to guess $3 to $5 ish.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on the number of colors, the size, shape. So what I have for our company is a round patch with, I believe it's 3 colors.
Okay.
I think that's pretty good, Renee, because we order the chevrons for ours, and they're about $1.50. So when you're talking about a full patch, it's probably going to be about twice that amount. So.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a question, but I like everything you showed, Renee. It looks really good.
Thanks, Steve. And I like that hat, by the way.
How do y'all like that hat?
That's nice.
There you go.
Well, I have a question for Renee.
That patch has that chevron on it. Yes, ma'am.
And it's very selfish. Can you come back to Waco, please?
I'll come back
and you up here so much, but I'm glad you're happy down there and doing well. So, and I love your service ideas. I think that's simplified down enough that it could be applied in just about any club, regardless of their activity level. So well done, sister.
Thank you. Thank you. And you know, I think all of you know these ideas, I tried to incorporate the simple ideas for those that may not have the manpower or the means to do things, or maybe the physical abilities, but then also some that are a little bit more intricate that maybe could be incorporated with a little bit of planning and willpower. So
I think it'd be great if we could get one of our clubs or even a Leo club to take on a purchasing and using a patch building machine.
Actually, it's a great idea. A great fundraiser for a club.
Yeah.
I will. Yeah, thanks, Brian. That's great. One of the things that I think is very interesting about what Renee has proposed, and the way she's looking at this as a MDGL GST function, is that she's not saying that this is something that everybody has to do. It's not. She's not requiring anybody to do that. But what I really enjoy and appreciate from her on this is it is probably the first time in my 10-year span from second vice district governor to now, that we have a GST that is being proactive in providing information, things that can be done, a different approach, a fresh look, a fresh view at the role of what the state's GST should be doing, not just regurgitating numbers. I mean, we can all do that. I mean, we can regurgitate those numbers that come off the matrix. I mean, it's easy. And so this is doing something. It's going a big step beyond that. So while I do know that there are some that think that this might be more than a club may want to take on, well, that's true. That might be, and it's okay if the club doesn't want to take it on, and it's okay if the district doesn't want to take it on. It's just ideas, and I have to tell you, Renee, hats off to you for that. It's an approach that is fresh and is new to MD2, and I'm thankful that this council is going to reap the benefits of your fresh new approach.
Thank you, sir.
Amen. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Well, on behalf of the
Lisa
council,
and
let
Renee
me,
and our team.
yeah, I want to say thank you to both Lisa and Renee for the time and the effort that you put into this. This is refreshing. It's got some great ideas. I think as some of us have talked about, we've got the right people for these jobs. There's no question about that. And we thank you for your dedication to us and to our council, as well as the Lions. You two ladies are prime examples of what good Lions are. And we thank you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
And Renee, as I said to Lisa, I will also say to you, thank you for taking that step forward to be a part of MD2 leadership, and to do the things that we've asked of you. I know that the council is better off for it. I know that MD2 is better off for it as well. So I thank you very much from a personal standpoint. I thank you and Lisa both for taking that step forward. It is it makes my job easier, and I thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Love my girls.
Yep. All right. So next is on, and so next up here is we got some open discussion. So is there anything that anybody on this call would like to bring forward?
I had AI use Gemini to build a plan for how I'm going to start from point A to point complete for finding and convincing a local group, a local club that is not a Lions Club to become a Lions Club. And it gave me everything. It gave me press releases. It gave me slides to present to the club. It gave me all the information about the insurance and the benefits to the club and a chart showing that. I just wanted to kind of pass that on, that if you're having any problems building any of your goals or your plans for your action plans, that Gemini is a great tool for doing that. You just ask the first question, and it comes back after it fills in one information that you asked. It'll come back and say, well, do you want me to do this next? Do you want me to do this next? You just keep saying yes, yes, and yes. Next thing you know, you've got a whole plan built.
Well, I tell you, you and Mike both love that assistant. So
I don't even
keep on
use
using it. It's a good tool to have. I can tell you. I do have a question, and it's going to be, the question is going to be, it's kind of more directed toward Jared and Diane, but it's really for all of you. For the committee chairs, that there was a letter that Jared had sent out to everyone back after the offsite meeting, for some of you to reach out to certain people in your districts to to see if they would be interested in taking on a chair. Jared and Diane, have you heard anything from any of those folks?
I don't believe we've gotten any feedback from anyone in our council.
Okay.
I got a note from Kim,
Okay.
appreciating our effort, but other than that, I haven't heard, again, like I said, any applications or any recaps or anything from anyone else.
So then that's gonna leads me to a question. Since I have the letter and see who you've asked what you want to do, may I have permission, Jared and Diane, to reach out to those who were recommended to see if they would be willing to serve in those roles? I won't do it unless you tell me it's okay.
I don't know, Jared. I don't have personally, for the ones that I had recommended, I don't have any problem with that.
Yeah, I don't know who's been contacted already by the recommender, if you will. But I mean, I guess there's no problem. I personally didn't recommend anyone, so I don't have any skin in the game when it comes to contacting folks. So I guess that would have to be a council decision for those who recommended them if they still think that they're in play or not.
Cody, were you going to say something?
Right after the offsite, we had a little bit of a confusion, at least I did, about, okay, who's going to talk to this person? Am I supposed to talk to this person? Is there like a clearinghouse? Like, should we all go to Jared and say, Jared, is it okay if I talk to this person about this? I was just not sure what the procedure was there, because it seemed like there was some confusion at the time. So.
Well, Jared had put together a list of all those recommendations that different members of the council had made, and he sent that out. And that had specific names on it.
Yes, Coach.
Cody, we can't hear you.
Can't hear you, Cody. Sorry. As Cody is if he's getting his sound to go, once he gets the sound up, he just come in and break in on me.
Okay.
There he goes. Go ahead, Coach. Coach, go ahead if you wanted to ask something. Okay. I guess the other side of that question would be then if the committee does not mind, I will reach out to each one of the people who are going to contact somebody and see if and just ask that question if they have, and if they don't mind if I contact them. I'm just trying to speed the process along. I know that I hear the frustration in Jared and Diane's voice sometimes, and I can very much appreciate that. I'm not trying to do anything that will go outside of what you as a council want to do. If I can be of support and help, I will certainly do that. If you would rather that I not, you're not going to hurt my feelings by telling me, no, Gunstream, we don't want you to do that. So it's all you have to do is just tell me that. Okay. I'm just trying to help you. So if that's something that you don't want me to do, then tell me that too. I'm good with that. It's less something else for me to do.
Let me remind everybody that Jared sent an email to the entire council last Tuesday, dated March the 3rd. I would ask everybody to go back to your emails and read what he said, because he exactly laid out what everybody's just talked about.
Yep.
Your name's there. If you had somebody to contact, then I'm going to ask you to reach out to the council chair and let him know whether you've done that. And if not, whether you will do that or if you would prefer that Chris contact them. It's pretty clear. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer. But it was all laid out on the 3rd of March.
So if we do that, we report back to Jared, Chris, or you.
David, if I will tell you, if you will just report back to Jared, Jared will let me know if you reached out to somebody. He's been very good about it. I mean, look, he's not only is he in my district, he's well, he may tell you he's not a friend. I'm going to look at him as a friend. I'm just teasing with him on that. He's very good about keeping me informed about what you guys are doing with the committee chairs. So,
and I certainly don't mind reaching out to folks. It's, I know some of these folks by name. I know some of these folks casually, but they were brought forth by members of our council. So I know that you all think of them in high regard, and I don't mind contacting them. But what I don't want to do is I don't want to beat the dead horse if they've already been contacted by our council members or by your district to serve in any capacity or whatever. And that's the hesitation that I had, Chris, whenever you asked the question, is I would sure hate for somebody to be approached again. Well, I've already told them that I don't want to do that, or I've already told them that I was going to do it, and here we are asking again. So I would ask if you want me to contact them, please let me know whether you have or haven't contacted them, or if you want Chris to, just these folks and you see them a lot more than we do. So if you think that they're still a viable option and you don't have time, or you'd rather have somebody from outside of your group do it, know that we are willing to. Mm-hmm. And if you think that life has changed for them, or that they may not be interested, or you mention their name in passing in that meeting, again, let us know one way or the other. But as it stands now, pretty much all of those chairs are still open and available for to be filled.
There's a couple of them that I took responsibility for, and I do have answers from them, and they are, I can relay that information to whoever is going to consolidate this information, whether it's Chris contacting or you, Jared.
It should go to Jared.
Yeah, okay. I'll be happy to field the first pass, if you will. Okay. And like I said, if there's somebody, myself, Mike, or Chris, or if you want to take another pass at contacting these folks too, just, the list that was provided, if you know those folks, or if you have spoken to those folks, please let me know, one way or the other, what you think, and we'll progress from there.
That sounds good.
Jared, I've got a question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
You and I have kind of done this on the side with some emails, and I'm still kind of stumped as to why there's such a low response. But what really kind of happens to the majority of these positions if they don't get filled? I mean,
well,
I know several answers, but in your opinion,
I know this.
What happens?
From what I understand, I know this was sort of a contentious issue at the meeting, and again, I apologize that I wasn't able to make it.
Wasn't your fault.
But whenever I insinuated that these chairs would be absorbed by the council, I know that we all have a full plate. And I know that we can't all represent every chair across the entire state. My hope is that if, let's say, for example, Lions Quest is brought up and somebody says, hey, who's our Lions Quest chair? Well, we don't have one, but I'd be more than happy to find out whatever information you need. And at the Council of Governors meeting, maybe 4 of us stand up and say, hey, this year, in absence of having a chair for whatever charity, we want to remind you what this charity does. And if you would like to look further into it, next year, this chair will come available. Or if you would like to, to fulfill it for the remainder of the year, we would certainly bring that to our council for consideration. So I think that we would have to take the ownership of that absent chair. And again, like I said, not the full chair responsibility, but we would have to be representatives of those charities or those seats to our districts and to our multiple district.
Willing to be a resource to at least find an answer for them at that moment, for sure.
Right. We may not be the single point of contact for the entire state, but as governors, we may have to work together and say, hey, Kim, can you get in touch with Sam for me and ask him who at World Services for the Blind can send out pamphlets for a district who's going to have a table at a fundraiser or something like
and
that.
that's certainly something that would not be that difficult to do.
We're going to have to share our Rolodexes of who we can contact if there is not someone who steps up and says, hey, I want to be the state single point of contact for X chair.
Gotcha. Okay. Good answer.
I promise to go over your list, and anything that I said before, I will follow through on. So,
well, and I, like I said, that's no fault of anyone, and I don't want to insinuate that that we're slacking in any way, because I know that we're all absolutely snowed under. And if you don't want to talk to that person for any reason, whether it be yours, theirs, or you don't talk to them anymore or whatever, that's no hard feelings. Just, let us know. And if we want to try to make another pass at finding somebody else, that's the council's prerogative. I'm just here to help at the end of the day, and I'll be happy to be the sounding board or to be the recording secretary on what that list says.
And David, let you know, we have, I think you already know, we've already had a conversation with Carol. So that's that one.
Yeah, you mentioned that, and that's great. I got an email from him. Well, one day this week, I had back surgery Tuesday, so I've been a little bit off of the plane. But anyway, he's planning to meet with me and Jake and I think Bernie, I don't know, and put my feet to the fire and straighten out my mess. So
you had back surgery. You just got through with COVID. So what are you doing? You trying to get as much time as you can at home?
Well, at my point in life, you basically, I still work every day too. I worked all day today. You arrange your whole schedule around which doctor's appointment or surgery or whatever is next. So that's where I am.
I can relate.
Cody.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
You got us. There we
can
go.
hear you,
we
Cody.
got you.
Okay.
You can't hear me. Jared, 2 questions. Is Miss Esmeralda Rodriguez still our extension chair?
You want me to answer, Jared? You want to answer?
That I do not know how to answer. Honestly,
I will try to answer. For Cody, for the remainder of this year, she is. Going into next year, she will not be.
Okay, thank you. Okay. And then second, where is our Waco, our offsite? What's the date are we going to have our council?
Now, before I answer this, please everybody understand. I'm gonna spiff a little bit on Cody. Cody, everybody else knows when it's going to be. We just didn't tell you.
Well,
that is not true.
I'm assuming it's Halloween weekend. Yes.
It is. It is Halloween weekend. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
And we want you to dress up in some sort of good costume.
Yeah. I'm a Disco Dan guy that he did down.
Cody never dresses up like anything. So
I'm gonna be the Hulk. I'm gonna paint myself green.
Oh.
Yes, Lisa, we are breaking once again the Constitution and bylaws by holding it on the wrong weekend. So
what? Everybody know why?
But it won't affect opening weekend or opening day of deer season this year. So there you go. Yeah. Next year. So
yeah, Lisa's excited. Now we have a Halloween theme because November 7th not only was a Baylor home game, it's homecoming. And Waco would
Right.
not have a single hotel room available. So
Right.
we moved it back to Halloween, and we are going to run with that concept and have a blast. So
Yep.
Cody,
Good.
be thinking about your
Good.
costume.
Good. Good.
Build it up within your districts because we need at least 100 rooms, 100
Here,
room
here.
nights. So that means we need, a couple of nights in the room. So please,
Right.
we need to
And
have.
we'll get you all the stuff you need. We're currently looking at logos for it and how to market it.
Will
to make
there be water in these rooms?
Yes.
Yes, we will
Will there be
have
hot
running
water in these
I
rooms?
was going to
Yes.
say,
Yes.
you better say hot water, Lisa.
Yes. And the hotel is only 2 years old, so their bar is fully stocked. If anybody wants to go look at it just for fun, go to Cambria.com. Let me make sure I gave you that. It's CAMBRIA. Let me go check. There's different ones around Texas. Cambria Hotel Waco, I think is it, but let me go look. Nope, just a minute. Cambria Hotel Waco. But it's a beautiful new facility. It's a couple of years old. Cambria Hotel Waco University Riverfront. That's a mouthful. But Cambria Hotel Waco, book online or whatever. But you'll see that it's got a sister hotel next door called the Even, and they're connected by a really cool courtyard, and that's where we're going to have a reception, weather permitting, hopefully. And there's a very cool hotel next door with a nice steakhouse that also has live jazz and piano. You're a block from about 20 restaurants downtown. You can either walk or catch a trolley. Healthcare is half a mile away should you need some healthcare. It's literally a right turn or a left turn off of I-35, depending on what direction you're coming from. And it's very near the McLean Stadium, which is a large landmark up here in Waco. So you can't miss it. We're currently finalizing the contract. Hope to have that tomorrow. And then we can just go ahead and start getting you guys the stuff to advertise. So everybody will need to play a role. Otelia has already graciously agreed to help with registration and check-in. Mike has agreed to assist with registration and payment. I'm sure Terry will be slightly involved with that. Yours truly will float. Kevin will be a problem solver, as we call it, instead of a troubleshooter. So everybody gets a role. So be thinking about
Kevin will be a troublemaker.
Do what, Brian?
And Kevin will be a troublemaker.
Yeah, Kevin's going to solve what I screw up, basically. But
Brian, you're
I want to give you
responsible
guys
for
a great
keeping
time to
Kevin
get
out of
down
trouble.
Yeah, exactly. So be thinking
That's a
about what you'd
10-man
like to
job.
do. Yeah, it's going to be a fun weekend, y'all. And I talked to Stephen Mabry today about his executive committee meeting because ordinarily in Kerrville it's held the same weekend. And he goes, well, I think I want to get everybody to come up there. We'll make an exception. So it sounds like the buzz is the fun is back. And so be talking it up and you'll get a logo you can advertise it with. And I mean, we need to have costumes and some prizes and all that, but that's down the road. But anyway, it's looking really positive for the Cambria. So I hope you guys are excited about it like I am.
Yeah, we are. We are.
Good.
And as I said, Kim, thank you for your help on that.
Absolutely.
He's done a great job, guys. He's done a great job on this.
It's what I do.
Any other items that anyone would like to discuss before we finish this up this evening?
And Chris, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Last week you sent us an email about Ember's professional expense management.
Yes.
What is that?
Exactly.
Well, I'm glad you've asked that question. There is a pay. It's how they're going to pay you for next year, and it's for everybody who was on Certify. You guys are not on Certify. Their LCI is doing away with the Certified payment reimbursement way that they do that. It's my understanding. Please stand by for this. I wanted to share it with you because it's my understanding that they're going to go to this system, which supposedly will make it quicker to pay than what they have with Certify to reimburse you for next year for when you send off your reimbursement to LCI. Okay.
Will it be done with ACH transfers or something versus check in the mail or?
Yes.
Okay. That's
It will
perfect.
be, yes, it will just go right to your account. So, they've been doing it with Certify for a few years now with those GAT area leaders and some others. And that has worked pretty well, but apparently they're not happy with what Certify is doing, so they're going to go to Imburse. So Steve, that's what Imburse really is. It's how they're going to pay you for to reimburse you for your travel and those things that when LCI does that reimbursement to you. Stand by. Let's see if anything changes between now and July.
It's really
3rd.
pretty easy to use. That's what we use at Exxon for our expense reports and our reimbursements. So if anybody has any questions, I should be able to help.
Well, good. We have a resident expert. Good. That's good. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Guys, I'm very proud of all of you. I'm proud of the work you're doing. I know that you can all collectively take a deep sigh of relief. February has passed you. The once a week 4-hour training sessions are behind you. Thank gosh for all of that. Yes, it is some crunch time on you between now and the 30th of April to get your district goals in. But please, as I said in the beginning of our call this evening, bring your first and seconds in to help you with that. Let them be a part of the process. Let your GAT folks be a part of your process in doing that. Don't do this in a vacuum. Don't think that that it's just your ideas, because remember, it is a district. And while you represent the district, you still need that input and you need that support of those players in your district to do that. So I would ask you again, as I've said before, if you would like for me to take a look at your district goals. I am not an approval authority. I'm not a disapproval authority. I will give you my honest opinion if I think you need to maybe add a little bit more of in context for a plan, or if I think you're shooting too high, or I may even tell you you're shooting too low. But again, it's just an opinion. I am not an approval or a disapproval authority. They're your district plans. But I do have some experience in this. I've seen good ones, and I've seen some that maybe not so good. So, and I think I can help you if you will let me. But again, only if you ask for that. But will I do that? So, other than that, I got nothing else to pass along. It's been a good time seeing everybody. We've been a little bit longer than our 1 hour, and I apologize for that, but I think it was important. We were able to have well worth it with the conversation with Lisa and with Renee. So I think that was well worth the time with them. So anybody got anything before we end this call? Let me go ahead and all right. With that, let me just
see everybody.
Let me just say here, and where is it here?